Hello, everyone. Welcome to the prayer rating after the Manchester United Brighton game. Manchester United 3 and Brighton 0. We know that our players are put in the brace, and this is what we want from Manchester team. We have seen that our team started on a good note. Though the game ended slow, it started fast, and we know that our team is again shooting from all angles or cylinders. Want to thank Solskjaer for the team that he picked and for the contributions he's making to Manchester United. I know sometimes we have criticized Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for a simple reason that we want this team to perform better, and we can see now what he's trying to do with this team. Let's look at prayer rating. We see how the players fared. Solskjaer, for me, gets 10 out of 10 for his brilliance in the first half and the first part of the game. He had used a combination of players that he needed to use to win the game. And in the last part, he used players that should give a chance to the ones that we want to play the first 11 to rest so that they can recharge their batteries. And we saw that when he did this, we saw that indeed the performance of Manchester went down, exposing the weaknesses of the other players of Manchester United. Meaning the first 11 players are strong, but after that we don't have anyone who can strengthen the team, come in and strengthen the team. They are Fred and McTominay are struggling. The others are below par. We can count them. Of course, Bay also is still trying to get into form, and because he has come from a long injury and even the COVID break. So we know that only McTominay, Fred, and Bay is Eric Bay is an alternative. Though at the moment they are also not in good form. But we know that Manchester United doesn't have anything after those. Oh, plus Daniel James. I forgot about Daniel James. Daniel James and Aguero. So we have Aguero, Daniel James, Eric Bay. We have McTominay and Fred. So only these 5 players, which doesn't cover even all the positions. Also, Brandon Williams, which makes 6. Brandon Williams in replacement for Luke Shaw. We know that we know what Brandon Williams is capable of, but we also know that he has not developed to that level that he wants to develop or want him to develop. So he still has miles away from developing, though we know that he is a good player in the making. So outside these 6 on the substitution bench, we don't have players who would come and replace a Pogba and perform. Players who would come and replace Fernandes and perform. We know also that Matial is playing much better at the moment than McTominay and Fred, the two combined. Yes, we know Matial is playing much better. And therefore, we don't have people who come in and make an impact that these midfield 3 can make at the moment. We know McTominay being given a chance, he can do better. Being given a chance to regain his form, of course, is a brilliant player. He can do much better for us. So having said that, the game was fantastic. Manchester 3, Brighton 0. We know we'll begin with the front 3. Matial, Rushford, Greenwood. For me, Greenwood is 8 out of 10. He didn't put his foot wrong in any way. He was brilliant throughout the game. The exchange of passes with the midfield, the runnings that he was making like a genius. Someone who is you couldn't tell that this is an 18-year-old boy that is running like this and passing, dribbling. The first goal was brilliant. Look at the way he played the defenders. Dribbling using his feet. When you watch him the ball at his feet, it reminds me of Van Persie. And we know that he can become as good as Van Persie if this boy is supported. The goal was brilliant, and for me, it gets 8 out of 10. We go to Matial. Oh, Mark Gobridge, United stand. Sorry, bro. Your player, once again, was invisible. We couldn't see that Matial is in the team. I know you have a tendency of comparing Matial and Rushford. The two are not the same. Rushford is a step higher. Even when we say Rushford is not playing well, he would still contribute to the team. He will not disappear like Matial did in this game. And it's not the only game that Matial has disappeared in. So this comparison of Matial and Pogba, Rashford must stop, because Rashford is a step higher than Matial, no matter how much you want, from which angle you want to look at. Because even if Rashford hasn't scored a goal, we'll know that he's going to make an assist, or he's going to contribute to a team as a whole. He's a team player. He's able to contribute even when he has not what? Even when he has not scored. But we know that there are instances where Matial will just disappear, like in this game. So for me, Matial gets a 3 out of 10. We go to Rushford. Rushford, brilliant runs, brilliant exchanges with the midfield of Pogba and Bruno Fernandes. Also, the runs between, the exchanges between Greenwood and Rushford were excellent. Sometimes they could confuse these defenders of Brighton. Rushford is on the right, he's on the left, Greenwood this side, and they couldn't know what they were dealing with. So that kind of exchange between Rushford and Greenwood was excellent. And for me, Rushford, yeah, he hasn't scored a goal, but for me, he still gets 8, just like Greenwood. For me, Rushford is one of the better players. He was brilliant in this game. Wow, Matial was very poor indeed. We go to the midfield. Bruno Fernandes, world class. I don't know why Rick always condemns and blames Bruno Fernandes. No, he can't shoot from this angle, he can shoot from afar. But we saw that the goal that he scored came from afar. This is what we want to see from Bruno Fernandes. He can score many goals from this position. We can't change Bruno Fernandes from who he is. Once we change him, he's going to be an inferior player. He's not going to be as good as he is. Let us give him a free way to shoot, a free way to create, take risk. That is why we have bought him. We are tired of the game that we are playing, simple, stupid passes which will lead to nowhere, which can't break the difference. We know that Brighton sat, but because Bruno Fernandes and Pogba were there, we are able to break them and we are able to score a goal. This is what we want from Bruno Fernandes. So, free Bruno Fernandes, don't listen to people like Rick from Manchester United stand. He doesn't know football. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He has agendas with certain players. I don't know if he's tired of watching football. He has been watching football for some time. But Bruno Fernandes, excellent. And I want to take this opportunity to tell Rick, hands off Bruno Fernandes. He's a brilliant player. He's a fantastic player, world-class player. Him and Pogba will form a formidable midfield that every team shall be scared of in the Premier League. So Bruno Fernandes, for me, gets a 9 out of 10. We go to Pogba. Pogba, for me, the exchanges with Bruno Fernandes were brilliant. For me, Pogba didn't score any goal, but for me, he also gets a 9 out of 10. I go to Matic. Matic, for me, gets a 7 for a simple reason. He could have gotten an 8, but he gets a 7 because it was not the same when Bruno Fernandes and Pogba were taken out. When Bruno Fernandes and Pogba were taken out, for me, it was a 6. When these two were there, for me, it was an 8. So I want to get a balance. So for me, he's getting a 7. And that is a fair score for him. Let's look at Lindelof and Maguire. They made mistakes at some points. I think about 2 mistakes there. For a bigger team like Manchester City and Liverpool, we could have been punished. So for me, Maguire and Lindelof, they get a 7. Wan-Bissaka gets an 8. Luke Shaw, for me, gets a 7. He wasn't brilliant, but he was above average. He performed well. We look at the substitutions, those people that came in. McTominay, the performance was below average. He's still struggling. So for me, McTominay gets a 5. We look at Edwin Guerrero. He didn't do much in the game. For me, he gets a 4. We look at Daniel James. He didn't do much. For me, again, Daniel James gets a 4. That's a fair score for him. We look at who else came in. Who else came in? Who else came in? Who else came in? Pereira for me did nothing in the game. Pereira gets a 4. I think that sums up the substitution that Solskjaer had made, and these substitutions expose Manchester United, the weaknesses of Manchester United. Meaning, if we don't have Pogba, we don't have Bruno Fernandes, we are nothing as Manchester United. I think it's high time that the people that be in power should think about this and see that these people are not contributing anything to Manchester United, but are on payroll. Phil Jones, Lingard. There are a lot of players like these that are on Pereira. Even Pereira, we have given him chances to Pereira to perform. We cannot perform. I think it's high time we give a chance to people like James Garner and others who have not been tried. This guy has been tried. I think it's high time that Manchester United can just get rid of these players, including Darrell. We need to bring in players that are going to reinforce the first 11, because outside the first 11, we don't have anything that is good enough that can come and change a match in case Bruno Fernandes or Pogba has an injury. We saw that the game changed after Bruno Fernandes and Pogba came out. So I want to thank you for watching this video and ask you to share with your friends and colleagues. I ask you to subscribe to this channel so that you can help us grow. I ask you to hit a notification button there so that you are notified every time we post a video. Leave a comment in the comment box about your views concerning this game and whether you agree with our analysis. I want to thank you. This has been Brand Sampa from Sports TV Media.